I just don't see anyone realistically right now besides Rock or Roman who could actually beat Cody. There's no one else on the roster who's really built up at this point who looks like someone who could actually take the title off Cody, which probably an unpopular opinion. I have not really been a fan of Cody's championship run so far in WWE. Not that, he's been wrestling a lot. He's been really putting himself out there. Nothing against that. The problem, I think, it's not necessarily his. It's just there's not a good enough lineup of people who you could actually believe could actually beat him. Realistically, there's such a small list of people who you would believe could beat Cody Rhodes or Roman Reigns when he was champion. So it kind of just, I feel like, almost hurts his reign when you see him fighting an AJ Styles or a Drew McIntyre or whoever, and you just know that those people just have no chance of beating him. They're not going to waste Cody's championship run crowning someone like that, as terrible as that sounds, because I'm a big Drew guy. I think Drew's been on a great run since CM Punk's came back, but they wouldn't in a million years let him beat Cody.
Reigns' run was obviously great. The way those matches were booked, you would forget that, Reigns is like unstoppable. There's a lot of times where you think he might have lost a title, to Riddle that match, Bryan.
That three-way with Edge and Bryan Danielson, too.
And once it got longer, you're like, all right, he's got to drop the title sometime, right? We're going to get Sami Zayn winning it in Montreal. Mm-hmm. So those matches were a lot more suspenseful than Cody's, because I agree. There's really no, strong enough opponents. But, it's the same thing with Stone Cold. More or less, he really had, Undertaker and Kane in that. Those Triple H were like the three, top, I'd say, that could, who did beat him for a title, once or twice, but he had more adversity, handicap matches, the McMahons, this, that. It was like they were just trying to screw him every single time. And he was one of those champions where, it was rare. Everyone says, you want to see these guys chase the title versus have the title. Right. And Stone Cold could do both. If he had the title, it was still great matches, great storylines, great everything. He was chasing it perfect as well. Cody, though, like you said, it's just same opponents over and over. He's going to win. But I do like the direction he took with Kevin Owens in, pile driving him. And, now Cody comes back. Now maybe it's a little bit more suspenseful. He's got a neck injury. They stack the deck against him more. I mean, that's really what they have to do is you got to stack the deck against him more instead of just these 1v1s and, there's no
quote unquote fair fights. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even like you said, during that time you brought up Kane Undertaker, didn't even bring up The Rock, who had the whole corporation.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, didn't even had the whole corporation behind him, Corporate Rock. Vince was invested. It just felt like the odds were so stacked against Stone Cold. But he had, like you mentioned, Undertaker, Rock, Stone Cold. Those three names alone are, a lot of people's Mount Rushmore has at least two of those guys in it. So those are top guys right now. It's pretty much... because of Roman's long reigns, a lot of these guys kind of just became fodder for him. And now a lot of them just don't have, the clout. The only people I could really see beating Cody, like I said, Roman, CM Punk maybe, and The Rock. But CM Punk, I don't see how they get there at this point. And to be honest, I don't think Punk has looked good enough in the ring since he's been back, not just in WWE, but in AEW to really justify beating a Cody Rhodes. Personally, I think it would almost be a waste to have him beat Cody Rhodes, but he does want his Mania moment. So if he was going to get it, fighting for a title would make sense.